What is the worst secret that you accidentally revealed about someone else? I was at a party. A friend accidentally began to drink my beer. I said no worries. It's not like you have herpes. Then I remembered they actually did have herpes and I began apologizing. Then I remembered it was a secret I wasn't supposed to know. It was like I was a Ricky Gervais character. Everything I said made it worse. My friend had a pregnancy scare. Apparently she told me and not her boyfriend. I learned that when I brought it up with her boyfriend. My ex-girlfriend had one, though we never had sex. She didn't tell me and I couldn't figure out why she was acting distant. My college best friend had a nose job and only told me. I didn't know she kept it from her boyfriend too. I mean, how could you not know? Anyway, we were at the beach about a few weeks after her nose job and her boyfriend playfully tosses a beach ball at her that hit her nose. I guess it hurt because she started crying and covered her face. Her boyfriend ran to her and was like, I am sorry, what did I do? It's just a beach ball. Your nose isn't going to fall off your face. I lost it and started laughing so hard that she walked away from us. Her BF was still confused and was asking me what was wrong and I stupidly say, why'd you do that? Her nose is still healing. Well, at least he knows now. I was friends with my neighbor growing up. Her family had a huge house we would all hang out at, and a swimming pool as well. Well, one day when we were about 8-9 years old I was swimming at their house. My mom had told me a few days prior that my friend's parents were getting a divorce. I have no clue why she told me. Well, while swimming I say some comment about her parents divorcing and she had no clue. Great. Her dad calls my mom that night furious that I had told my friend, and my mom makes me call and apologize. 3 days later that man killed his soon-to-be ex-wife by strangling her in the house, driving her body to his parents' house who were out of town, dumped her body in a pickup truck and commits suicide from car exhaust fumes. Needless to say, I believed for a long time that he did this because I told his daughter about their upcoming divorce. He didn't know about the divorce until his daughter told him about it. While in 5th grade our teacher taught us how to look up sex offenders living nearby us on the internet. In the computer lab that day, a friend and I tried and discovered one of our classmates' dads on the site. Long story short, we accidentally revealed that his father fricked the 16-year-old babysitter and that was the reason his parents got divorced. Sounds like a terrible ending to a terrible porno. I was talking to a friend of a friend's ex-GF who came into the shop I worked at and who I hadn't seen in a while. Asked her if she had seen my friend since he had got his new GF and if everything was okay. Although her body language changed, it wasn't obvious she was surprised at the news. I thought she was uncomfortable discussing something that was kinda awkward. Turns out she was still his GF and she played it cool as a cucumber and got all the info she needed out of me. Smart girl. I'm always impressed by people like this. Maybe I'm around too many dang drama queens. One of my friends accidentally revealed to me my older brother was gay. Suck one dong. You're automatically labeled for life. I accidentally outed my brother as the man W. Here's when one of his girlfriends named Jen called and without thinking asked which Jen. I regret nothing. I accidentally revealed that a friend had allowed his GF to pee on him in the shower because she was into water sports. He had told me in confidence. Man, that's gold. N. I told my dad my older sister got an abortion. I didn't realize it was a secret from him. We were talking and he said he was worried about her and about what happened recently and I said, yeah, I understand though. I don't think she's financially stable for a child yet, and he replied with, what? Turns out he was worried about her having moved from Florida to New Jersey with her boyfriend. Whoops. My current boyfriend looks nothing like his family. They are all blondes with blue eyes. Both his parents and all 4 of his siblings. Each are 5 minutes and 10 seconds and under. His mom being 4 feet 9 inches. My boyfriend is 6 feet 1 inches. Darker skinned than anyone in his family. Brown eyes, brown hair, and glasses. I always found it funny that he was such an odd duckling out of the bunch. Then one night at a dinner, the dad's best friend comes over. He looks like he could be my boyfriend's dad. All the same characteristics. In private I start asking him about his dad's friend and joking that they're actually father and son. The next time he sees his mom, he tells her what I've said, as if she needs a reason to hate me even more, and she chokes up, and after he digs a little deeper, she tells him that he's adopted. The friend isn't his dad, but the guy's younger brother is. While the friend is close to being 50 or is a year or two older, and the brother is 37ish. The younger brother was a teen dad and wasn't ready to be a dad, and neither was the mom. My BF's parents knew all of this considering how close the families were and asked to adopt my BF. Honestly, my boyfriend is taking it well and has no big issues with it, only that he should have been told sooner. I felt bad considering if it weren't for me he wouldn't have found out. He's grateful though. I'm grateful he didn't have to endure looking like his mom. That'd be a curse. Probably one of the better ways that story could have turned out. My sister is a primary school teacher. She recently moved to a new job abroad. On her last day I was drafted in to help her moving things out. Unfortunately, when all the children entered in the morning, my sister nipped out to do something, and so I was left alone with a room full of small children. They were obviously confused as to who this strange man was, and so thinking I would be funny, I told them I was their new teacher as the old one had already left to teach abroad. Turns out my sister hadn't told any of her class that she was leaving. After that I was alone in a room full of small crying children. Additionally, later on when they inquired why I, 6'2", wasn't sitting down on their little midget chairs, I told them I had no knees. They believed me, and that was the day I learned that children are freaking idiots. At the time we were all 18. I was working at a restaurant and had a friend pick me up after my shift. I recently found out my other friend was pregnant. The girl picking me up came up to me and screamed, "Holy crap. Did you hear the news about Cassie?" Pregnant girl. So I assumed she knew and started talking about the pregnancy. Turns out she didn't know and was referring to something completely different. Cassie was planning on giving the baby up for adoption and was not going to tell anyone. I felt horrible. I had a friend that I worked with at a fast food joint who I was a few years older than. His step-dad and I were also friends, and one day he told me the biological grandparent of his son worked there with us. I guess he didn't know anything about his biological dad's side of the family. So here is this sweet old lady who got to see her grandson after so many years on a daily basis, and I decided to help him connect the dots. He wasn't supposed to know, and for good reason. Plenty of drama ensued when his real dad wanted to get involved after 16 years of not being around. I fricked up. I am sorry, Rob. I feel like there's more to this story. That he is gay. We were not close at all. Similar interests, but just acquaintances. I think I had liked his Facebook status or something like that. He started drunkenly messaging me. Our conversation escalated pretty fast, and somehow it ended up being an odd therapy-like session through chat about how ostracized, pressured, and sometimes downright depressed he felt hiding his sexuality from his parents. I let it slip in a conversation with a friend of mine who was closer to him than I was. I didn't realize it wasn't only his parents he was hiding from. I felt so foolish. Thankfully, there wasn't any apparent backlash. In fact, it seems he's open about it now. Seems. Don't make the mistake again. I accidentally revealed that a friend of mine has HIV when I was talking with a mutual friend of ours. It was someone that he was very close to, and I stupidly just assumed he already knew. It taught me a valuable lesson though. Now I just don't say any crap about anybody. I don't want to be that gossip queen that nobody trusts. Saw my best friend's mom in Walmart. Chit-chatted with her and said that I was kind of sad he wasn't going to college with me. She looked at me like, he's what? Got an SOOOO much crap with him for that. I dated a girl in high school, I think in 10th or 11th grade, for a time, and she confided to me that she had been sexually abused by her uncle. I had never known anyone personally who had had this happen to them, and I was really upset and confused about how to handle the situation. I wanted to be a good boyfriend and know the right things to say to her to be supportive. So I figured that the best way to do so would be to talk to my best friend about it. I mean, your best freaking friend would keep something like this in confidence, right? Frick no, he didn't. I talked to him the very night I found out on the phone. He gave decent advice, but most importantly promised to be there for me to talk to if I needed it. I of course made him promise not to tell a soul, and he promised that he wouldn't. and I had no reason to believe that I couldn't trust a guy I'd been best friends with for 6 years. But then, by start of school the next day, he had told every single person about what happened and made it into a joke. The uncle's name was unfortunately a bit of a pun because of the situation. The way he spread the story was me calling him up and making a joke about it. By second period that day I'd been slapped by about 5 different girls, had more than a few male students tell me I was dead after school, and a teacher call me a piece of crap. By the end of the week I'd been almost completely shunned by most of my grade, as well as the grade above me, gotten my butt kicked after school on several occasions and had my locker vandalized. But worst of all was the humiliation that the poor girl went through by having this information outed. It has been 24 years and I still feel really badly about what she must have gone through. She never spoke to me again, not that I blame her, and while kids being kids, pretty much everyone forgot the whole situation by the end of the school year. I never had the chance to tell her what really happened or apologize to her. Your best friend is a jackoff. Not me, but once me and several friends were having dinner at a restaurant. Among them was a couple we had known for years. The guy in this couple was notorious for lacking tact. After a few beers, he blurted out that his girlfriend is a trans woman. None of us knew, and none of us had any idea what to say or what we were supposed to do with this information. The girlfriend didn't really respond, just smiled politely. After a few moments of awkwardness, the conversation eventually continued. Told my friend the girl he was sleeping with had genital warts. Felt bad as it really wasn't my place to say, but decided his health was the priority. Sorry not sorry. Yeah, I would tell any of my friends in a heartbeat if someone they were sleeping with had a STI. If you are sexually active with an STI, your partner should be conscious of it. I lived with a couple who broke up and the guy was devastated over it, like it ruined him for a long time. Well, I accidentally revealed to him that his ex is now a porn star. No, I am not telling. And he started digging and found out she started well before they had troubles. I wish I didn't let that slip, cause it really messed him up more and his trust issues got worse. Not that being a porn star is bad, but it was the fact that she lied to him about this side of her that hit him hard. It's like you don't want thousands of unusable internet points. In 4th grade I accidentally let slip to someone at my best friend at the time wet the bed. Naturally, word got around and the best friend found out it was me. I still feel terrible about it over 10 years later. I've told this story before, but I'll say it again. My former biology teacher used to do this lab test when teaching about blood types. Students would get the blood type from their parents, and then look at their own blood type and determine the probability of their type. One student kept having trouble with the assignment, so the teacher helped him, only to discover the student's blood type, given his parents, was impossible. So indirectly, my biology teacher had to tell a student he was adopted. The kid talked to his parents when he got home, and everything turned out okay, though. I've heard so many stories like this that I imagine this exercise is no longer done in school. It sounds like the probability of accidentally ruining a young student's life is too high. I guess this is a secret of mine that I gave away too, but for the sake of the thread, I'll say I gave away my husband's secret, since it was more about his side of the family anyhow. We eloped, and planned to tell our family about our marriage a few months later when we flew back across the country for the family reunion, so we could tell them in person and hope for fewer angry people. Well, my Phil and his lady friend came for a visit and that's still a secret time, and I had already gotten comfortable with my new name and identity as a wife by that point, and I accidentally let it slip. I cried right at the table in the middle of the restaurant. I was so upset at having spoiled my husband's reveal at the reunion. When I was 13, my mum was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. I was in the middle of rehearsing for the school play and a lot of assessments, so my parents decided to wait a few weeks to tell me so it wouldn't affect my school work. One of my best friends at the time had found out through his mum, and assumed I already knew. One day, as we were walking to class, he mentioned it. I guess the fact that he was uncomfortable was the reason that he jokingly mentioned it. My friend and I always had dark senses of humor, and joked about things that a lot of people really wouldn't joke about, but I remember thinking this was kind of weird and crossing the line. After I responded to it as a joke, he must have realized I didn't know yet, and he just dropped it. It kept bugging me, and I kept thinking it was weird until a week later when my parents told me. TLDR. Friends told me my mum had cancer before anyone else. For some reason, my dad told me, I must have been about 10 or so, that my half-sister's mom had cancer, but not to tell her. I told one of our friends, probably about 12, who of course told her that my ex-boyfriend had lost his virginity to a guy. He has only had straight relationships since. I was talking to my gay friend about not being able to donate blood, and was like, you think that's bad? At least you are actually gay. Blank. Had gay sex once and now he can't donate forever. Not my best moment. I may have been drunk. At least in Australia, there's a time limit 12 or 24 months from memory for that disqualification. In a group chat with multiple people we work with, I made a joke about my friend being gay, which he is. I know that, and several of the other people knew that, but he hadn't specifically told them all, so it was a shocker to several of them. I helped an ex move out of her apartment about a month after we broke up. I was moving a dresser with her older sister and she suddenly stopped walking forwards. I dropped my side of the dresser. The bottom drawer flung open to reveal a drawer full of dildos to not only her sister, but her parents, who were pulling the paintings off the walls in the living room. Not just a dildo or two, a whole drawer full of mechanical beasts, oversized dongs and plugs. The look on her conservative Catholic parents' faces was priceless. I was flattered that it took so much to replace me post-relationship. TLDR. Accidentally showed my ex's parents and sister her ridiculous collection of sex toys. I was flattered that it took so much to replace me post-relationship. She probably had them all along. Those things are expensive and having a whole drawer full would be a big investment. The worst thing I did was reveal to my at the time boyfriend that my best friend roommate, we were in college, was still a virgin. I remember he asked something like, I wonder which one of your roommates will end up sleeping with so and so, because this dude was flirting with all my roommates. So I blurted out, well, probably not because she's a virgin. So he tells her later in a game of beer pong that he thinks it's really cool she's a virgin. Lots of crying. She never trusted me again. She said she forgave me, but I still feel horrible even though it could be worse. I learned my blabbering lesson. I once accidentally revealed to a girl my best friend was talking to and interested in that he was psychotic and has anger issues, so he should be avoided. This was years ago in our freshman year, and I still hate that I said that about my best friend. I am the Gamma Master for our pen and paper RPG group. One of the player character is a witch that travels around the land disguised as a field medic. The other players are not supposed to know that his character is a witch unless they figure it out themselves. On more than one occasion I blurted out loud that his crackhater has magic abilities. My friend was getting a boob job, but was keeping it hush hush. Her brother-in-law, who is also my friend, was at a party with me and someone asked about her and her surgery. She was telling people it was for her gallbladder. Her brother-in-law was super vague about it, and afterwards I was like, I still can't believe she got a boob job. The look he gave me was so awkward. Apparently he didn't know, and some other people overheard me and started talking crap about her. I just wanted to throw up and hide in a deep dark hole. Ugh. Me and my big mouth. I had a very awkward 8-hour shift because I couldn't keep my dang mouth shut. There's these two girls, right? And a douchebagger who thinks every girl wants his dong. The two girls are like best friends or something. Who cares? Anyways, the one gives old douche a BJ in the parking lot on a lunch break. The next day she comes in with a breakout all over her mouth. Fantastic. Well, the other girl also gives douchebagger a blowjob, which was top secret gossip shop drama crap. I was told that there was two chicks giving him BJs, but no one ever told me who the other girl is until I am working with her, right? Somehow douchebagger gets on the topic and I start ranting. Who the frick is dumb enough to suck his dong after her plip be slobbed on his knob? I mean, how stupid can this other hobbit be? Another thing, what the actual frick happened to work ethics? I can't tell if I'm at a corner or at work. Goddamn be hooking up in the parking lot where there are cameras. Just wow. So stupid. I look down and I see her facial expression. All I could say was, oh my god, it's you. You're the other girl. It was pretty awkward, though I was praised by the other employees for being so bluntly honest. I normally am a very quiet worker, so it shocked the crap out of everyone. Good God, this post, it's like I'm really back in high school. I was drunk at a party with my family, parents included, so I stumble out the back door, point to my sister's boyfriend, and slur at my dad. He's freaking your daughter. Ah, memories. This just happened last week. So I have this friend who isn't exactly a player, and he recently got a girlfriend. He was with his girlfriend one time, and all that I'm going to say, because he's a Redditor, is that he got some handy action in a public place, a bus, with people on it. We were sitting with our group of friends that we usually chill out with, and there was a lull in the conversation. Looking back, this was a massive butthole move, but I thought it was funny at the time. In the silence I say, so, get any good butt handies lately, which caused laughter from a few of our friends, but he wasn't laughing. He didn't know that one of our other friends had told me, and I didn't know that he didn't know. He got pretty upset and was also angry at the person who told me. I felt like the biggest douchebag on the planet. I couldn't look in his general direction. The entire room was silent, and you could cut the awkwardness in the air with a knife. He leaves the room, and the person who told me about it gets really pissed at me, and then leaves with her friend. My other two friends were still kind of laughing a bit, but I still felt like the biggest douchebag on planet Earth. He came back eventually and things went back to normal. We were laughing again and talking in no time. We talked the day afterwards and he's not mad at me, just at the girl who told me about the story. Hey man, if you're reading this, I still feel like a total butthole. Even though you said we're cool, I can't shake that feeling of douchiness. It's all good, man. Everyone was eventually going to hear about it, but you're still a douche. One time when my friend was away from school, I told the class about her glass eye. She never got mad at me for it, but I was in trouble with the teacher though. Told my pregnant best friend's hubby she gave some random guy at the bar a BJ in the bathroom. They are divorced now. She lost custody of her child. She treated him like crap. I hacked a female friend's Facebook when she left it open on her laptop whilst she went to the toilet and left a status along the lines of OMFG, I'm pregnant, and it was just a one night stand. The following day, after having a laugh about it, I told her an hour later and she quickly deleted it that night. She went really serious and then admitted that she was actually pregnant and that it was from a one night stand a couple of months back. Whoops, what were the odds? Accidentally outed a friend in high school. We were talking about girls when said friend wasn't around, and I offhandedly said that he probably wasn't interested in them. I wasn't at all conservative, so this wasn't a big deal to me. However, my friends at the time were pretty much all Mormon and the friend in question was Mormon as well. They all turned on me pretty quick for that remark, and once the rumor got around that he might be gay, I felt unbelievably low. It wasn't my place to spread rumors or to out someone when they aren't ready. He's now openly out of the closet, but I still should have kept my suspicions to myself. High school is hard enough for a gay Mormon. That one of my best friends and employees had a crush on our receptionist. Just having a chat with our HR guy and it slipped. He transferred soon after. Sorry, Jim. Damn it, Michael. My friend's boyfriend thought he was her second. He was not. I accidentally let it slip during a conversation. We were talking about promiscuity and women when he said, thank God, girl's name, has only been with one other dude. I then giggled and said, nice one. I thought he was being sarcastic. I didn't know he was being serious. I guess it clicked and I tried to mend the situation by saying, but dude, it's okay. She's only been with like 6 dudes, but he was still P nonetheless. You know how when you know something about someone and you have actively talked about it with the secret owner and thought about it so much that it becomes a normalcy to you? That's my problem. I mean, I've never fully slipped up and told, but suddenly you find yourself on the precipice of telling someone else and you get a jolt of shock because wait on, this new person isn't in on the secret. Shut up now. One of my female co-workers who was relatively new started dating a male co-worker. I have known the guy, let's call him John, for a few years and know about his past and the fact he has 2 kids. One day, the girl, let's call her Beth, seems upset. I ask her what is bothering her. Beth responds, you know, I and John have been seeing each other for a month or so now. He is really great. But there's one thing I'm not so sure about. What aren't you sure about? His kid. Which one? Apparently John had told Beth he had one kid, not two. Neither of them was very happy with me for a while. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.